She's actually okay. Like go down there and just wait for her. Okay. I'm sorry.
What's your first name?
Brian.
Ron. Sit down. Second.
We're just hoping to get a time just for acceptance. Just about what team Yeah, that's what we want. That's really good.
I mentioned bowling last time.
We have around 500,000 people. It welcomes 11 million tourists to the city each year, so it's very much a city with great infrastructure in place around transport, accommodation. It also hosts 4 national football, basketball, rugby and AFL teams, so it's very experienced in running sporting events, and similarly we run major marathons with 27,000 people. We run a V8 supercar with 300,000 people come to the race each weekend. So a very experienced city, a beautiful city, and a city that can run a great Commonwealth Games.
Mr. Coffer, tell us about the preparations. How the preparations have been so far for the bid. You know, how much work actually went into this bid?
Into this bid, 2 years' work, or perhaps even more than that. But we've done a lot of work and we've prepared well, and we think we've got the infrastructure and everything that takes to hold a major event like the Commonwealth Games, and we believe we're in good shape to should we be successful tomorrow to run a very successful game.
What's the cost?
The cost.
Well, first of all, the cost in terms of preparing and how much it will actually cost. Should you win the bid to actually get all the facilities in place?
The bid budget is 10.8 million. I think that's open.
That's pounds?
No, Australian
dollars.
Australian
Okay.
dollars. What will take to stage the games. Mr. Peters might have some other ideas, but I don't have those figures.
Yeah, the costings around the games are across a whole lot of areas, and in terms of facilities, 80% of our facilities are already there, so we have a very small budget of a few $100,000 for facility upgrades and a couple of new facilities like a velodrome. All of the road structures and the light rail, and that's already in place, and upgrades are in government budgets into the future. And then you have the operational costs, and they can be anywhere up to 400 million, based on an 8-year cycle. So one of the strengths of our bid is it's a very low cost bid. It's a bid based on a regional city, and we've actually developed a model to show other regional cities throughout the Commonwealth that they can also bid for a Games. You don't need to have lots of money to run a very, very good Commonwealth Games.
Right.
Importantly, we have achieved during the evaluation process, the Commonwealth Games Federation Evaluation Commission gave us a low risk because of what Mr. Peters has just said.
Right. Now, in terms of the future, I mean, after the games, should you win the bid, how will the facilities be used? I mean, you did say that you have some of the facilities in place already.
Well, 80% of the facilities are there already being used, and all the new facilities that are being built in areas that we're seeing the community and the city expand into. So every facility will actually be based on community use. So if I use it as an example, there's a 7,000 seat stadium that's being built for gymnastics. After the games, it gets divided into two and becomes two 6 to 10 court basketball stadiums that will be placed in the city to maximise the use by our youth. So it's a very compact proposal where there won't be any white elephants. It's one of the criticisms of games that often these great big stadiums are built and then they aren't easy for the community to use, and they're very costly to run, and that's certainly been our principle not to have that happen.
Right. In terms of the significance hosting the games will have on the Gold Coast in particular, we know Australia is capable of hosting big games. We talk about the Sydney Olympics and the Melbourne Games as well. What significance? What are the significance? What is the significance of hosting the game eventually on the community in terms of socioeconomic impact?
Well, I think there are actually lots of benefits. One is the benefit to the city. So this is a very young city. It's been extremely well planned into the future, and what we'll see is the fast tracking of a lot of the infrastructure to take the city to be the major regional city of world standard it can be. So it'll create a lot of other investment because people have a lot of confidence in the city. It will see infrastructure development that'll benefit the population of the city. It'll create thousands, tens of thousands of jobs, and it'll also lead to the diversification of the economy by having sports tourism, health and knowledge precincts developed around where the village is going to be. So there's a multitude of benefits, but we think one of the great benefits for the Commonwealth is just as important, and that by holding a games on the Gold Coast, in Gold Coast City, we will see athletes wanting to come. This is an exciting city that if an athlete had to put their hand up now, we know they'd come. So they are not going to have just great competitions in great venues. They're going to have a fun time because we have 5 theme parks. We have a population full of volunteers, 120,000 of them already registered and experienced on the coast, 5 theme parks and the best beaches in the world. So athletes are going to say, wow, let me go there. And so the Commonwealth Games reputation will be enhanced because we want the best athletes in the world and the best developing athletes to want to come to the Commonwealth Games. So we think that offers a massive, massive investment in the future of the Games for the Commonwealth Games Federation, and it's a real strong part of our bid.
And there's also the point that we've made over and over again that we're developing a plan, if you like, a regional plan, a master plan, so that we can, as an intelligence piece of material, if you like, it'll be passed on to the Commonwealth Games Federation. It'll be a blueprint for communities like the Gold Coast, regional cities, to be able to bid in futures, because at the moment it's in the hands of the major metropolis all over the Commonwealth, and we believe that there is room to develop a regional concept of the Games.
Right.
And this is what we're working on too.
I know for not just for these games, but also for in previous bidding as well. We know that some bid cities tend to use star power of their countries, whether it be athletes, star athletes, past athletes, retired athletes, to help boost their bid. I know Hamban Toad has done that with their cricketers. What has the Gold Coast done in that regard, if anything close to that?
Well, our whole bid has been based on the great success and experience of our athletes. So the Mayor of the Gold Coast City is Ron Clark, one of the greatest middle distance runners Australia's ever had. Our chairman, Mark Stockwell, is an Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalist. Sam is a Commonwealth Games medalist. Perry Crosswright is an Olympic Games participant. We've got an athletes commission that has some of the greatest athletes in Australia advising on the village and everything else. Most of them are here with us, and they've been talking to delegates, and they have been involved in our process from day one. Because if you're going to have a games based on getting the best athletes and the best developing athletes from out the Commonwealth, what better group to actually plan a games than those that have participated and know what's required for athletes. So this is an absolute athlete-centred bid proposed and promoted by our athletes, and they are out there now talking to delegates as they have been all week.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much, and all the best.
This is the Mayor and Ron.